Okay, wait. We got to get rid of this. Goodbye. Okay. So we noticed we got Angie here, all right? Because Angie made the trip all the way out to Squim so that she could finish up her certified master pet tech instructor so that she could train others to become pet first aid instructors. And just to acknowledge just how bad a 3 days that Pooh has had. First, I was gone for the first day, which is a full-on 8-hour pet first aid class. Okay. And so I wasn't home, and Pooh had to spend the entire day with my husband. And then day 2 and day 3 was here at my home. Pooh couldn't come in here. Okay. He is, and he's mad at Angie because it's apparently all Angie's fault. He has his back turned to her. If you could see this.
Oh yeah, he's not happy.
He's not happy. And
clearly Angie's fault. And the doppelganger. Has he tried to kill the doppelganger yet?
Oh, he's mad because watch this. Now he's looking. He is big mad. That's all I'm gonna say. Because Angie's now loving on a fake dog. And he doesn't even want her to touch him. But the fact that he's touching another dog, it's a problem. So poor Pooh, if you want to give a little bit of love for Pooh, go for it. Because he's had a rough 3 days. So we wanted to just talk today because there are now 3 new pet tech instructors. And plus Meg Iafredo came. She was an instructor last year, and she spent the 3 days just sort of like refreshing skills with us, which was nice. And if you haven't been to my personal profile, please do so, because the new instructors and Meg did put together a video. And if you haven't watched it, don't watch it with like a drink in your hand or something like that. Put the drink down first and then watch it. Okay. So anyway, I guess I'm going to start.
Who's not happy?
Mary, I didn't know Pooh knew those words.
Oh no, he's fully versed with those words. So I think we've all had accidents, or 99% of us have had accidents. And it would be nice if we knew what to do when we've had those accidents, because that's not always the case. All right. We see it all the time in Facebook groups. I just did this to a dog or a cat. What do I do? Okay. The sooner you address any kind of injury, the faster this pet will heal. Um, and not only they heal faster with less pain. Okay. So the sooner you can attend to things without having to go onto social media to figure out how to do this, the better off you are. Right.
Mhm.
So I can tell you, I can do a whole laundry list of all my accidents. My first one being I had a golden retriever lick a pair of scissors. Okay.
Mhm.
And yes, I did put sugar on it because at that time, that is what I knew. Okay. I know better now. I know better not to put sugar on the tongue. There are much better options for that type of injury. If you have ice is great, or a black tea bag. And there was somebody said you can't put a black tea bag on because of caffeine. And we've had conversations. Somebody said you can't put a black tea bag on because of caffeine. Yes. But the amount of caffeine is minimal. It is not going to cause a problem. And if you are actually concerned about it, then get a decaf black tea bag and put it in. All right. Either of which, the ice or the tea bag, is not going to spike a dog's sugar and put a stressed pet into some sort of as can go as far as if he's not diabetic, if he's pre-diabetic, that can be the tipping point. If he's diabetic, the stress from the injury, the stress from being in the grooming shop, that can be really serious, right? And if you've never had a pet go into ketone acidosis, consider yourself fortunate. All right. So Denise, what was your first accident?
Oh gosh, I don't even know what my first accident was at all. Probably my guess would be either like a nicked ear or a paw pad. The nice part was I worked at a vet clinic, for most of my grooming career before I opened my business. So I learned so much even just from being there. But yeah, I knew at least how to apply the pressure and what I was looking for and not to put, things on it that you're not supposed to and all that other fun stuff. So I would say it was one of those two. I can't remember exactly what it was though.
Yeah, when I was first learning to groom, so I'm going in for now for my test so I can graduate the Petco Academy. And one of the dogs I picked was a schnauzer to do. And I took the docked points on the ear because I did not shave up along the ear leather. And the reason I didn't do that is I already had that accident.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd rather be docked a couple of points and not get that perfect 100 and take the 92 or whatever that I got on it rather than nick the ear and fail.
Mm-hmm.
Or rather nick the ear and then also cause that pet pain.
Right.
Honestly, mine, I'm pretty sure, was also a nicked ear. And I am like 85% that it was a schnauzer.
Yeah.
With those, yeah. And it wasn't in high, like at the time, I felt horrible because you felt horrible. In hindsight, it was a big nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But you're new, it happens, you felt horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I was glad I had experienced people around me.
Right.
All right. Okay. So yeah, I see Facebook user.
That's Christina.
Hi, Christina. They nicked a Newfie's ear today, just at the bottom. I mean, accidents happen. Sometimes it's something we could have prevented. Other times it can't. It's basically how we deal with an injury. I personally have never lost a client due to an injury because I was upfront with it.
Yep.
I think the worst.
I did. Sorry, Mary.
No, that's okay. You know what? Not everybody's got perfect clients, Chris.
Yeah.
But
that entire story was a shit show.
well, sometimes
okay.
there's more to it than just the injury.
Yes, they wanted to sue a corporation and get money.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And there's there's that segment of the population that's out there.
Mhm.
They look at a corporate or a big chain and think they got endless buckets of money and don't want the bad publicity, as opposed to the small mom and pop who may not have access to that kind of funds, or again in the mind of the client, or in that case, former client, right, Chris?
Yeah, uh-huh. Mhm.
Okay, so where was so again? I guess my worst looking accident, okay, was when I nicked the tiniest tip of a tail on a golden retriever and didn't realize it because he's wagging his tail and he's very happy. Didn't even yelp. But you know what? The blood dripping from my ceiling was the first clue that there was a problem.
Mhm.
And I see it. I see Facebook user as well, and I'm going to answer that question, and y'all can jump in. But unfortunately, yes, you as the owner take that as part of the business, and you should have insurance.
Yep.
Yeah, that should be covered by your insurance. Now, if you choose to put it through the insurance because everybody's like, oh, their deductibles, are they going to raise my rates? That's your call. That I can't answer for you.
All right. And
But
one thing I want to also make mention in here. So the bill here is $1,600.
Mhm.
You need to know what your animal Bailey policy actually is, because just because you have $10,000 worth of coverage doesn't mean you have 10,000 in one shot. It may be
Right.
10 instances of 1,000 apiece.
Yes.
Okay. So know what your policies are. So if you're asking me if I have a $1,600 bill, okay. Now, Tommy, no, not the homeowner's policy.
No, there's a separate pet insurance policy. There's a for groomers.
For
Mhm.
business, as a business
Yeah.
policy. Okay. So it's not a homeowner policy. It's not a personal. It is a business insurance policy. And what that is animal Bailey. Okay. But again, there may be limits on it. And that's why it's really important to know, not just look at the heading and say, oh, I have $10,000 worth of coverage, and then not read the paragraph underneath it, which states, yes, you have 10,000 worth of coverage, but it's over the course of this $1,000 max per incident, up to 10 incidences.
Right.
Okay. So if I have a $1,600 bill, honestly, I'm putting that through insurance. It's what I have insurance for.
Right.
Yeah, it's the policy add-on. It may not be with every single business policy. You may want to make sure you have that on your policy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Excuse me.
Okay. So we got Angie here. Angie, what was your first accident?
It was a wire fox terrier named Chelsea. It was probably over 30 years ago, and it was her ear. It was the ear flap, and I caught it with the neatening up the edge of the ear because I went down and I caught her ear flap. It was a teeny tiny cut, and it bled and it bled and it bled. And I told the owner, and this was a show dog. This dog was like, she wasn't showing at the time because she had blown her coat because of the heat. But this was a hand strip dog. And I was just neatening up the edge of the ear. And I did it with a clipper because that's what I was told to do. And I didn't realize it should have been plucked at the time. And I caught her ear, and her owner's like, "Man, I've done way worse than that to her. She's fine." I
Show
know.
people are a different breed.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, she was like, meh. She's fine. She's like, the dog doesn't even care. Does she even feel it? And I was like, well, no, but, and at the time I didn't realize as an employee I wasn't responsible. I was like, I'll pay the bill, I'll do whatever. She's like, she's fine. It's like that. It's a speck. It's not a big deal.
All right. So Tommy makes a point. Now he says basement and garage groomers don't think they're covered or they think they're homeowners policy. But I'm going to tell you, it isn't just groomers who don't have a business policy. Groomers with a business policy sometimes don't think they, yes, exactly.
I was that person. Like, I thought I was covered. My insurance agent thought I was covered. I was a new business. I had no clue about insurance. So, yep. And then I had a $4,000 vet bill. So, yeah, freak accident. Don't know how this German Shepherd cut herself. We still to this day don't know how, but it was right by her ACL. And she needed ACL surgery from it afterwards. So $4,000 later, I learned what all of that was.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And even if you had Animal Bailey and it was $1,000 limit, you still would have been on the hook for $3,000.
Yep.
Pets in our care, they're in our care, regardless of how it happens. Ultimately, it is the business owner that is responsible for it. It is not the responsibility of employees. And this is where that whole being properly classified comes into play.
Yep.
Okay? That's not a discussion we're going to have here today.
No, but I do want to say, even if you're properly classified, a lot of groomers don't realize that they are not personally responsible for it because there's a lot of
It's a business expense.
They're shady people.
Legalities, an owner is not allowed to charge back a
Yeah.
Here's
employee.
Sometimes it's not malicious. Sometimes they are not educated.
That's
on
true.
What the responsibilities of a business owner is. That still is on the business owner, because if you're a business owner, you should be aware of what you have to and what you don't have to do.
I was just going to say that they could just not know. And business owners have to cover so much. I could see that being frustrating, and I can see it, but no, it's on them.
Okay. It is why, again, I'm just going to touch it. Don't throw me any hate. Okay. Why a 50% commission model is not feasible as a business owner, because you are on the hook for a lot of things an employee is not, including a $4,000 vet bill you are not expecting.
Correct.
Yeah. Especially if you don't have the right insurance, because you're also brand new at this.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
So to, I guess, go a little off topic, it's why you take business classes. And they don't even have to be necessarily pet industry business classes in general. Okay. Right. Your local chamber of commerce. All right. Your state economic development board. All right. Your local economic development board. They may have classes that are generic, that are across the board on what it is you have to do for as a business owner.
Right.
Do me a favor, take over. I got to text somebody who's not supposed to call me right now.
Okay. Angie, go ahead. Record her. We're recording this. It's probably one of her kids, and she's probably going to drop the F-bomb.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, she's texting. She's not.
Okay.
There he goes again.
But
Injuries. So yes,
They
injuries.
happen.
They do.
They do. And you know what? To quote the great Scott Wasserman, or to paraphrase, if somebody has been grooming for years and they claim that they have never nicked or cut a dog,
Mhm.
they're lying.
And it doesn't even have to be from a haircut. Like we've had some really freak accidents happen. Like I said, that German Shepherd, or, we'll do old senior dogs on the floor and they just happen to move away. Even with our scissors away from the dog, somehow they turned real fast because, they're seniors and unpredictable, and stepped on a pair of shears. Like there's so many weird random things. I saw a lot working at a vet clinic. So you never know what's going to happen.
There was a groomer that was had finished a golden retriever. Golden retriever had at the top of their front leg, they had a tumor, and the tumor was about the size of a baseball. And so they unclipped the dog. The table was it was a low Z table, so it was maybe 6-7 inches off the ground. Could easily step off that. That is like a step worth of.
Mm-hmm.
And the dog stepped onto that front leg with the tumor, and his front leg broke because the tumor had been weakening the two bones in the front leg.
Oh.
And it just snapped. And so it happened at their salon. They were going to pay the vet bill once they figured out that it was a tumor, that it was an existing thing, that the groomer had been telling them for many months that this was an issue. Then, the owner said, "Don't worry about it. It was their bill."
Well, and that's the other thing, having good records, something like that, saying, hey, we had the tumor, you know what I mean? Like, and we kept telling you to get this checked out, things could happen. That you always want to note that stuff in the history so you can cover your butt later.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, waivers and thorough check-ins.
Yep.
Okay? Because there are many times, that you just simply should not groom the pet. They're honestly and truly not healthy enough, maybe just for that day. Maybe they got something going on. But you know what? And I tell people, check the gum color.
Right.
Anything other than nice and pink or mottled, whatever the normal thing is, that's a liability.
And Amy said that's nice of the owner, but in reality, when the owner of the salon showed the video, it was nothing more than a finished dog stepping off of the lowest setting on a table that he had done 1,000 times, and it was the tumor that caused the bone to break. The vet said that. And so it was not the groomer's fault. The groomer didn't do anything wrong. And it was because the owner hadn't seen to it that it became an issue. They let it go, they let it go, they let it go, they let it go, the bone broke.
Right.
It could have happened walking down the stairs in their house. And the vet made it very clear to them that this is because you didn't do anything about this 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So the owner was like, oh my God, and just paid the bill.
And once again, not 100% on topic, but that's why we take notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll keep a note of every time I write a vet ref card. I note it so that I can say, oh, hey, you got a copy of this vet ref card 6 months ago, 8 months ago, whatnot. And I haven't done anything with it. So.
And we live in such a sue happy society that all of that stuff matters. I actually have a friend who was just sued for a cat going into heart failure while she was doing a nail trim. And and the vets even said this was a pre-existing condition and they still sued her. She ended up, she sent me over because she's one of our Ohio Professional Pet Groomers members, and she always does continuing education, and I've known her for a long time. In the court records, because she did continuing education, did first aid, and is serious about her profession and is a part of our organization, that showed her professionalism, and another reason why they put it another notch towards her. So it wasn't, and she has it highlighted. She sent it over to me, and that's what, the judge already knew that it was sort of a crap case, but it really, they stated that in the official court records and the findings, that's one of the reasons why, was because she takes her profession seriously and does all this stuff on her own. So, and that was just 2 or 3 weeks ago. So, yeah.
Okay, so again, the importance of continuing education, and every profession has continuing education.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. It really and truly is what denotes it as a profession, the fact that they go for continuing education. So on that note, because we're going to wrap it up on time today, because
you guys have had a long weekend.
We had a long 3 days. Poor Pooh is like, right? I know, it's been rough, Pooh. We're hungry. Pooh is tired. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up with upcoming shows so you can get continuing education.
Yes.
So upcoming show is the Teton show in a couple of weeks. And if you want to get pet first aid certified, that would be the place to go to. I'm doing 2 classes there. Chris is doing a bunch of classes. A lot of Chris's classes are on like ergonomics and wellness, correct?
Yes. I'm also doing, there's a new thing they're doing, and they're making the boardroom, which is a smaller classroom, available to vendors if they want to sponsor classes. So I'm doing every morning from roughly from 9 to 10, hands-on practice with your evolution swivel shears on model dogs.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you aren't sure, you've tried them, you're not sure if you can get used to them, or you have a pair that you're like, they worked at the show, but Chris wasn't holding my hands at the shop. So bring them and we'll do some hands-on stuff, hands-on swiveling.
Angie is doing a sanitation class, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
5 hours. Okay. So
one day I'm going to take your sanitation
St. Louis coming up. Is that correct?
Yeah, St. Louis is this weekend, actually.
Okay, so this weekend. I know Denise's, the Ohio Association, just did a workshop on rabbit grooming.
We had Angie, and then next month is Samantha with her enrichment grooming. So we have that coming up next month.
So there's lots of opportunities, and if we go just a little bit past there, what is the Ohio show over and done with, or that's coming up?
Pet Quest is the end of June.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Pet Quest at the end of June, and then July is the
Colorado show, which is brand new, and I get to visit Colorado Springs.
August has got 2 shows. It's got All American and Super Zoo.
Yep.
And September is Hershey
and New England.
New England.
And September.
And there's more shows after that. I don't know what the dates are.
There is Dallas.
So Fitz is the beginning of October, that first week, or no, 2 weekends in. First is the ISCC, their Pet Pro Classic, and then the following weekend is Fun in the Sun.
Fun in the Sun. And I'm actually going to be at Fun in the Sun for the first time this year.
Me too.
It's very, very exciting. They're doing a lot to promote it. They're trying to make it a bigger show. It's going to be a 3-day show, and I think it was 2 days before.
Yeah. And they're doing 3 classes instead of the 1.
Yep.
At a time. Oh, and in between Hershey and New England is Barclays Pet Pro Cruise with Terry DiMarino.
Okay.
I know.
And Dallas is in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Dallas is after New England and before Fun in the Sun. And I wanted to acknowledge Maria and say, Mary, I know you're going to be on vacation next week.
Yep.
So not next week,
No,
but
no. You guys can have access. Angie's a team member of, so she can have access to my restream. You guys can have fun. I'm going to be on a cruise, so if there's any problems, you're out of luck.
having different kinds of fun. You'll have different kinds of fun.
Yeah, I'm going to be on a cruise. I'm going to have.
We got a requested topic for next week, and that is discussing insurance.
Yeah.
So there we go.
No, and Maria too. If you do a search and probably pecknumber.hall, look at the videos. We've done a couple insurance ones.
We did with Tiffany Tate.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So she did a really good coverage of that. So I don't know if we could actually do that any better than.
Well, what you guys can discuss next week is the importance of taking a vacation.
What?
That might include a lot of cussing you out.
That's okay. When I'm
We'll figure it out.
When I'm
We'll figure out something.
Cruise ship spa, I'm not going to care.
He's not even going to watch it.
No, I'm not even going to watch it.
Zero.
True. This is true. I 100% know that you don't listen to the podcast episodes after
Yeah.
they're up and recorded
No, I mean,
anyway. I could edit it anything I want.
You could. You could. Unless someone tells me. You know, someone's going to have to tell me. All right. Hey, do you know what they said about you? I'm going to like, no, what? What? I need the particular minute in which it is said so I can just... Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
There'll be a partial panel here next week. Who will be boarded too, and he's not going to be happy about that either.
Oh.
Cranky.
He's going to be very cranky the following week. Oh, don't do that to him. I know, Boo. I know what you doing to you.
He hates the stuffed poo.
He
Oh
ate
my God.
poo. There's holes at, like, I don't know if you can see it. There's holes in stuff.
Oh wow. Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like peeled off the flesh of fake poo. He nibbled on his ear. His tail's got a little chew on. Yeah. He tried to kill fake poo.
Oh, that's funny.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Good night.